Hello, anyone's insane who's watching this video right now. Today I would like to talk about the retrospective of Christopher Nolan that took place here in Russia 2 weeks ago. They had put them in a chronological way, so you could see how the Nolan's work has developed in the course of time. I truly love Christopher Nolan's works, and especially his pedantic attitude towards the whole process of film production, from the preparations to the post-production. And if you haven't seen these films, you better go and watch them right away. So the first film is Memento. I guess you always know that this is a Christopher Nolan's film if you pay your attention to the structure of the film, and this is what I like very much in Memento. Well, we have two timelines here and two perspectives. One is objective, which is done in black and white shots, and the other one is subjective, which is done in colored shots and is going backwards. So the structure can be explained like this.
That's basically the end of the movie. This stuff is the black and white stuff. This is color. And this is running backwards as a series of jumps. And what we do is we cut between the two the whole way through. So we alternate scene here, scene there, scene there, scene there, scene there, scene there, and they meet towards the end of the film.
The second thing that I like is the story is told backwards, so it gives you the feeling of that anterograde amnesia that the main character has, because you can't remember the beginning of the film, which is basically its ending. You're kind of in his head, in his perspective of this world, how he perceives it. So the last thing is also about the structure, and I like that the scene is presented with an unexpected situation, and the scene itself tells us how did we arrive to this situation. First you have the answer, and then you have the question. The second film that wasn't the retrospective was The Prestige. And the first thing that I like is the introduction, well, cut to speech. He says,
every magic trick consists of 3 parts, or acts.
The first act is called The Pledge. The second part is called The Turn.
But you wouldn't clap yet, because making something disappear isn't enough. You have to bring it back. That's why every magic trick has a third act, the hardest part.
The part we call
The Prestige.
I like it because it's not only the introduction, but a structure of the film itself. Because after we see it, we understand that the film itself contains 3 parts. Then, David Bowie as Tesla. You can't have something against it, it's just David Bowie, you can't do anything with it. No. And the third thing that I like about The Prestige is that when they repeat the introduction in the very end, the last line of Cutter, he says, now you're looking for the secret, but you won't find it. Because you don't really want to know. You want to be fooled. In my opinion, here we have some kind of metaphor of film production. Because one of the most important things that people are seeking in the process of film watching is that fact that they want to be fooled. Films are usually creating an atmosphere or a situation that we agree to believe for a couple of hours. It means that we want to escape a reality that awaits us in our everyday life. The Dark Knight. Well, actually I'm not a big fan of superhero movies because I always feel that lack of humanity in them. But in The Dark Knight, I feel that Christopher Nolan tries to bring the superheroes not as the superheroes, but as people with, I don't know, difficult situations or problems. So we can relate to these people and, you know, and to feel this humanization of superheroes. Fact number 2. It is well known that Christopher Nolan is not a big fan of CGI and all the stuff, and that he prefers to do all the tricks and stunts in a real life, with real objects and with real people. And I truly adore this fact that in the scene when the truck is turning over, they have done this in a real life. And surely this movie couldn't be as brilliant as it is without Heath Ledger.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
But my favorite moment is this one.
These things are built for that, right?
He's gonna need something a lot bigger to get through this.
What is that? What is that, a bazooka?
I don't know why, but it makes me laugh all the time. And here we have Inception, my favorite film by Christopher Nolan. And I could speak about it for hours, but I have to pick out 3 facts. Well, the first one is the very theory of dreams on a different levels, because dreams is a subject which is really close to us. Everybody dreams, and we can fantasize about having dreams on a different levels. Because in my life, I may had a dream in a dream, but I never had a dream in a dream. The treasures of this film are Tom Hardy, Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
What's a kick?
This, Ariadne, would be a kick.
Chemistry and banter between these two add a humorous effect to the film, which is always a pleasure to see.
You mustn't be afraid to dream a little bigger, darling.
And the last thing about Inception is again CGI effects. And the fact that they don't have it, at least in the scene of gravity in a hotel. Because these scenes were done without the CGI, but in a rotating construction that required a lot of thinking from the actors. They had to think where they should step next, in order not to fall and not to hurt themselves. And it's time for The Dark Knight Rises. Well, you know what? I always forget about Tom Hardy, but every damn time when I watch The Dark Knight Rises, I realized that the child that came out of the pit was not Bane, but Talia al Ghul, when she tells the story to Batman, and Tom Hardy is sitting here acting with just his eyes, with just the expression of his eyes, and that tears that streaming down his face.
He excommunicated Bane from the League of Shadows. His only crime was that he loved me.
Tom Hardy is the best, let's admit it. The second best moment in this film is, of course, Cillian Murphy as a judge.
Now what will it be? Death or exile?
Crane, if you think we're going out onto that ice willingly, you have another thing coming.
Death, then.
I love when a director or a screenwriter is capable of inserting these tiny little details of the whole universe into one piece. That scene with the messengers that have come over the years when they were on that planet filled with water. It's very emotional, it's very touching. Quite a challenge not only for him but also for his children. The second thing that I like is the picture of a black hole when they come close to it, especially if you watch it in IMAX, so you kind of understand the size of it, how massive it is. I love that they did silence in a particular moment in space. It gives me the feeling of loneliness. You're truly alone in space, and there is nobody else to help you out in a difficult situation, so you have to do everything yourself, and you have to count only on yourself. Well, this is it. I hope you like it, and I hope Christopher Nolan has many magnificent new projects ahead that will overwhelm us, and I can't wait to see it. So if you want, you can comment and write your favorite moments from the films that I mentioned, and we can discuss them. Thanks for watching, see you later in the next video.
Death.